Okay, part 2. Let's continue where we left off. So when we are in this place of knowing who we are, but then we hide it, that is still coming from a place of disempowerment because it's born out of fear. We most likely either one, we avoid it completely, and we are like, oh no, being a witch is satanic and that's demonic, and I'm a Christian, I serve God. God is a woman. God is a witch. This system that is ruled by those who rebelled against God have demonized it, have made it something scary when it's not. And for those of you who are already a witch, but you hide it, you most likely in a past life were burnt at the stake, were persecuted, hunted down for your beliefs, and you still carry that trauma, that generational trauma, that it carried over. And it's time, guys. This is the time. We live at a time that is a lot more open-minded. We live in a time where we can share our beliefs. In fact, we can encourage others and teach others. Embrace it. Embrace it. And question what it is that you were taught, because the Six of Cups is the overall energy followed by the Hierophant, because it's beliefs you're taught. It's tradition. What society has taught you is right and wrong. Start questioning it. I'll tell you about the Ace of Cups. Clarify the Ace of Cups. The Sun. The Two of Wands. The Two of Pentacles and the Star. With the Three of Cups. Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. This is interesting because it comes down to, for many of you, you may be associating with the wrong type of person. You may be friends with people who are very devout Christians. You may be friends with people who are very devout Muslims or Jews, or they serve a very patriarchal belief system. That doesn't make them evil, but it does mean that you will sacrifice your authenticity, your ability to be honest with yourself and with the people around you, because you don't want these people to cut you off, because you're so terrified of being alone. So there's multiple things that need to be healed. You need to get your priorities straight, basically. You need to really ask yourself, what is it that I'm willing to fight for? What is it I'm willing to stand for? What is it I'm willing to defend? Is this friendship and this connection more important than my connection to Divine Feminine? Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. I know that the Bible is a very, very distorted voice of God, but there are things in it that are valuable. There are pieces of it. We can look at it and look at it with a grain of salt, right? Because it refers to God as masculine. It teaches a lot of patriarchal principles, but there are things in it, little golden nuggets of truth here and there. One of the things that is coming to mind now, and I remember I was very religious, but I was in a Spanish culture when I was doing that. So I'm thinking in Spanish, and I might translate it incorrectly, but you'll get the overall gist. In Spanish, there is a verse that says, El que no recoge conmigo desparrama, which means that if you don't gather with me, you are scattering. There's no gray area. There's no black or white. It's black or white. So if you are serving divinity, if you are somebody who is in touch with the divine feminine power, and you hide her, she will give you time to heal, because she will understand that is coming from a place of fear. It's coming from a place of trauma. But she's not always going to be hidden. She will not always accept to be a dirty little secret that you are scared to share or represent or be proud of. Think of it like this. Think of it like a lover. And I think the easiest example would be to think about, if you are a Christian, imagine that you're dating someone who's a Muslim, and strict Muslims, and they come from a family who will not allow them to date somebody outside their religion. For some time, you would most likely tolerate them hiding the relationship, because you understand they don't want conflict. They want to make sure that this is going to be long lasting before they take on that battle. But after a certain time, the more certain you are about your connection, the more certain that they say that they are about your connection, you're gonna be like, okay, I think it is time that we talk to your parents. I think it's time that we face this battle together. And the time is now, guys. The Divine Feminine has given you time. For those of you who are already connected to the Divine Feminine. For those of you who struggle because you're more connected to the patriarchal belief systems like Christianity, Jewish, Muslim, it's time to start questioning that. So it's time on either front. It's time. It's time to dig. It's time to either, one, start digging into your beliefs and why you even support these beliefs, or two, it's time to dig into your fear and why you're hiding who you are. Because you've been given time, and she wants to continue helping you heal, but she's not going to be okay with you continuing to hide her. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. Because at its core, feminine energy is not a coward. If you think about it, the strongest feminine principle, or one of the strongest feminine principles, is a mother, right? And what is it that people talk about? Mama bear. Why mama bear? Because if you fuck with a mother's children, you're going to see a side of her that might scare you. Because at its core, the mother is protective. The feminine energy is protective. It is proud of its connection. So, coward energy doesn't go well with it. Clarify Seven of Swords. We've got the Seven of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Three of Cups. With the Page of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So some of you may also be connected to some masculine energies that are very, they know how to make you feel certain things. They know how to control your emotions. And what I mean by that is, if you start talking about feminism, or if you start talking about spirituality, they might know how to shut you down by, oh my God, here you go again with your bullshit. Or they might say things like, that's not even scientifically proven. This is rubbish. I can't believe you believe this. It comes down to you being worried that this means they will see you as less intelligent. They will see you as easy to fool, gullible, that type of thing. But ultimately, one of the reasons that we want to address this is because this world is very masculine brained, right? It's very much about whether something is scientifically proven or not. And although that is very useful and that is something we're not going to say is bad, we can't fully lean on that all the time. Because if you think about things like electricity, to someone from a different time, electricity would have come across like magic, right? It was just ahead of its time. As in, if you take electricity now, or a phone now, and you take it back in time, people will look at you like you're possessed, like that is a demonic object, because they don't understand the science behind it. Wi-Fi, phone calls, text messages, emails, a lot of things that we now take for granted. In other timelines or the past, that people would have seen it like magic and something demonic, and they would have been scared of it. So there's a lot of things now that just because we can do them, and maybe we don't know how we can do them, maybe we can't scientifically prove it right now, that also doesn't make it invalid. Especially when you can see the results, when you can see it playing out real time in your life. So if you are still in the place of really struggling with this because you're afraid of how you're going to be perceived, what you need to heal is the fact that you're worried about other people's perception of you. There is a difference between having a respectable and clear reputation and living for what other people say. There's a difference, okay? As long as you know that you're doing things with a strong sense of ethics and morals and a strong sense of right and wrong, you have nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to fear. Because people, especially in this day and era, the more and more time passes, they're going to be more and more accepting of people living in a different way than they do. And that's great. That's something we need to take advantage of. And people who really love you will try to understand you. Will try to be like, okay, I may not get what you are talking about, but if it's important to you, I will support you. I will try and understand this. I will try and learn from you. Tell me about the devil. 9 of Wands. Page of Swords and the World. With the 3 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Magician. So, hold up, right? I have like a lot of tension in my neck. So this is going to be how to put this? It's very interesting to me that we're coming across this subject because it's kind of getting you to question when you come across masculines or people who are very masculine brained, right? You can't explain a lot to them, but the future is changing. And in the future, there will be a lot of masculine workers of magic too. There will be a lot of masculine covens because they too will be getting in touch with their feminine power. So I think some of you really need to question whether you're doing something that you're really proud of, something you can really stand behind, or you're waiting for it to become more mainstream and then you'll feel safe. Like, because that's kind of going with the flow. And this is not what it's about. This is about, that's why the underworld is here, right? That's why witch is here. Because this is about the people who are leaders versus the people who are followers. If you're a leader and you know that you're going to be part of this pioneering movement, you can't be scared. Because honestly, fear is always going to be there. We're human, right? But courage means that what we're doing outweighs the fear. It's more important than our fear. And you're going to have to prepare yourself because obviously not everybody's going to be in agreement with it. Not everybody's going to be okay with it. Not everybody's going to support it. There might be people who start watching you. There might be people who say unkind things to you. But that's what boundaries are for. That's when you know, okay, these are some people I have to cut off. These are some people I can't have in my life. I can't have them in my circle. I can't have them near me. Even if it's hurtful, even if you struggle with having to cut off some people, you have to lay some boundaries. People who truly love you may not always understand what you're doing, but they at least will respect you and give you the space to live life your way. When someone continues saying, no, you have to live life the way I tell you have to live life, then that's a problem. That person is a problem. You wanting to live life in a different way is not a problem. It's somebody else wanting to control you that is a problem, okay? Remember that. How about the 10 of Pentacles? The Knight of Wands. the shadow side, which is the devil, and the Five of Wands. With the Six of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Fool. I think there's a lot of, I don't think I've seen this before. There's some of you, I wouldn't say there's a lot of you, but there's some of you that are also afraid of being seen as something to sexualize, because obviously women are very sexualized in this system, right? And I think that there's this new, I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing some of you have, for this to be coming up. There's a new type of masculine showing up. Masculines who don't believe in what the feminines are doing, but they find the high priestess, the healer, attractive, sexy. They want to fuck her. They might not want to marry her. They won't accept her in public or in society, but they'll talk to her. And this is interesting, because the way it's presenting it here is that these masculines will be the type to talk about keeping things on the down low, keeping things just friends with benefits, or keeping things private. They'll be very big on that. This is how you protect yourself from them. You say, no, I want a relationship where both of our families know that we're in a relationship. Both of our friend circles know that we're together. I don't want to hide our connection. And when you talk about your witchy stuff or your ceremonies, your rituals, how do they react? Are they somebody who treats it like a fetish, or they treat it like they're humoring you? Or are they somebody who's genuinely interested in asking questions and curious to know more, to understand more? Because that's how you'll know. That's how you'll know whether it's someone who's here for a good time because they think witch pussy is better, or because they genuinely respect your craft and they start thinking about how your lives are going to merge with this in mind. It's about learning to use discernment, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me about the Queen of Cups. Got the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, King of Swords. Again, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Cups. This is so interesting to me because it does come down to a feminist type of approach. Because one of the biggest fears of this Queen of Cups energy, which means that you're still in the very, I'm supposed to be a lady, I'm supposed to be super soft. You can be soft without being a pushover. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can be loving without being dishonest. Being a Queen of Cups is definitely part of the Divine Feminine, but is not the only aspect of the Divine Feminine. And with the Four of Pentacles, some of you are going to really struggle to release this mentality because it feels safe. This is the way you've always been. Why should you change now? It's going to make you uncomfortable to start asking questions. It's going to trigger you, which of course it will, because you're untangling beliefs that have merged with your ego. But at the core of that fear is the fear of being rejected, either by society or by a specific masculine. Maybe so some of the masculines you are involved with are very masculine minded. Like, things have to make logical sense. There has to be facts here. Science has to approve of this before I approve of it. And so this could be a dad, honestly. This could be a father figure. This could be a brother, or this could be a husband, boyfriend, or someone you're interested in. So it basically comes down to, are you willing to betray yourself for dick? I'm sorry, but that's what it comes down to. Like, I saw this meme and I saved it because I was like, this is perfection. There was a meme saying that Ariel and Moana were very similar. And someone else was like, no, the fuck they're not. Ariel betrayed everything in her life for a man, for dick. Whereas Moana went out and sacrificed herself, her time, her energy to help build her people, to help heal her people. That is so different. Not the same thing, and I agree. So it's basically, this is what it comes down to. Are you willing to betray yourself for either one, dick, or two, approval of society? It's really what it comes down to. Let's look at the next row. Temperance. The Three of Swords. Six of Cups. Okay, I'm being told not to use clarifiers after this. Five of Pentacles. And the Sun. With the Page of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. I see. This is going to be a lot of relearning things. It's going to be a balance, really. That's why temperance is here, because I'm not saying that you should discard everything you were taught. Because there's, just like the Bible, which can be very distorted, there are pieces of gold, little gold nuggets here and there, right? Same thing. You don't have to throw away everything your parents taught you, or society, or whoever it is that raised you, your environment. You don't have to discard everything. I'm sure there's some very valuable knowledge in pieces of it. But you have to look at what value does it bring to you when you're deciding what you should discard or not. Use the Marie Kondo method, basically, where she says, if you're trying to decide to throw away an item or not, you hold it and you think, does this bring me joy? If it does not bring you joy, get rid of it. And if it does bring you joy, hold on to it. So that's basically what it comes down to with the Sun card here. Like, your healing has a lot to do with, does this belief bring me joy? For example, I, as you can tell, am a chunky monkey, right? I've been this way for a large portion of my life. And one of the beliefs that I was raised in, unfortunately, but it is what it is that men didn't like fat women. And that if I was the size I am now, that nobody would want me and that I would be alone forever. And honestly, I did not care. I was like, so what? But because I wanted to fit in with my community, I was always shaming myself over my weight, over how I looked, because that was something that I had been taught that I should care, right? So through shadow work and through a lot of healing, I took that belief and I was like, does this make me happy though? How do I feel when I tell myself that I'm not good enough? Why should I care if a man prefers my body type or not? If a man is ashamed of the way I look and they don't want to be with me, that's not a man, that's for me. Period. It shouldn't come down to it, or my hair color, or my skin color. It doesn't matter. We're not all for everybody. That's why diversity is a beautiful thing, because everybody's drawn to different things. So when you start examining these beliefs and start sorting through them, there's certain beliefs you can hold on to. Like, I will always hold on to certain things that my family taught me, but there's others I won't. I refuse to. And so that's how you're going to start sorting things out. Does this bring me joy? Does this make me happy? Believing this, holding on to this. How does it impact my emotional and mental health, basically? Because I think as you start unpacking those things, you're going to start realizing, oh, that's a terrible belief to have. I don't want to hold on to that belief. Let's see. Let's look at the next card. We get the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of Pentacles, and I'm going to be sharing a lot about myself, not because I'm trying to make this about me, but because I'm trying to let you guys know I've been there too. I'm still part of the process, because healing is not linear, and there's times when we come back to something we thought we had already healed and we're like, oh, I had not fully healed that. High Priestess, Queen of Swords, with the Four of Swords, Six of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Yeah, this is very much about healing the feminine within. For example, and I thought of this as I was shuffling, which is why I said I'm going to be sharing things about me too. So something else I was taught at a very, very early age, I developed these, okay? Could I control that? Absolutely not. I don't know where they came from, because not everybody in my family is built like this. But me and my sister kind of developed it at the same time. And for a long time, because I was in a Christian household, in a very traditional household, I was shamed over having these. And so I always had to be wearing things that were like this. Like this. And if they weren't like this, I had to go look for safety pins to be pinning up my clothes, because this is a lustful body. This is the type of body that leads men to sin, apparently. And for a long time, I was ashamed of that there was something wrong with my body. I was made to feel that it was unattractive. It was disgusting, actually, to be this big. There was multiple things I had to heal through. So when I dress like this is not to attract men. I don't give a fuck about that. I promise you, men are attracted to anything. This is healing for me, because this is me being proud of my body. This is me loving the femininity that comes with these curves. Because it's like the culture I was raised in had a lot of the mentality that the maiden body is the only type of body that's attractive. And it is. Like, women who are very slim and who have very like slight supple curves, that I still think they're beautiful. They are very dainty. They remind me of fairies, and I think that's adorable. Am I a fairy petite body? No. And that does not mean that I cannot be beautiful and I cannot love myself, okay? So I think that this is going to be something that a lot of you are going to have to start unpacking when it comes to sexuality, for example. Like, let's talk about one of the things, when I got the download that feminine power or feminine energy was God, sometime later I got the download that some of the most powerful feminines out there are people of color, especially African American women. And tell me one of the most oppressed groups in the world, African American women. And one of the things that they deal with in even in this country, unfortunately, is when they have a body that is very curvaceous and they're just existing. They're not doing anything but existing, right? They're looked at like, that's inappropriate. Yeah, I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. Well, bitch, look away then. Go somewhere else. Because the time has come to stop shaming women who are naturally curvaceous, who have done nothing but just exist, and make them feel like you are a problem. You are making me uncomfortable. We need to switch that and start asking people why. Why is that making you uncomfortable when this person is doing nothing to you? Why are you so ashamed of someone being this curvy? Why is this making an impact on you? Please give me an answer, because honestly, it's none of your fucking business. So, embrace your body, ladies. Because I think that this is going to be a big part of this healing. To those of you who are overly concerned about, oh, I can't wear this because that is overly sexual, I promise you, I promise you, has nothing to do with it. It doesn't. Our bodies are naturally going to be sexually alluring regardless of what size we have in our body parts. It doesn't matter. A woman is still going to be sexy to the right man. And sometimes even to the wrong man. We don't have to worry about it. Enjoy your body. Wear what you want. Wear what you love. Wear what makes you feel confident, what makes you feel beautiful, what makes you feel feminine. And to some, I want to clarify that by saying what makes a woman feel feminine will change depending on the woman. Some women feel feminine by wearing pants and being out in the garden and in Mother Nature. Good for her. Another woman will feel feminine by wearing dresses and putting on makeup. Good for her. Another woman will feel feminine by being a mother and not wearing makeup but dedicating herself to her children. Good for her. If that's what truly makes her happy. Now, if someone's doing these things because they believe that this is what feminism is and they have to, this is the only way they can be feminine, then that's a problem. Then that they need to examine that the sacrifices they're making, right? But this is going to be very much about our daily life. What is it that we do in our daily life that supports our feminine energy, that enhances and heals our feminine energy? Especially for those of you who feel called to be leaders, who feel called to help others grow. You will most likely have been raised in an environment that made you either one, despise feminine energy, or two, be at war with feminine energy. So this is something that you need to heal. Do you have a lot of anger, resentment from your mother? Or whatever feminine raised you? Do you tend to say things like, I mean, I love women, but I don't trust women? Why? Are you maybe lumping all women under the category of whoever it is betrayed you and hurt you? Have you had multiple friends growing up that bullied you or said things to you that now you don't trust feminine energy? I think we really need to examine these. So again, this is part 2. I'm going to pause here, or not pause, but I'm going to stop recording and I will see you guys on part 3. Okay, bye-bye.